Hi everyone, this week I'm going to show you how to make a super simple cake drip. You only need 2 ingredients and some food coloring. I'll explain some do's and don'ts, so stay tuned. The 2 ingredients are white chocolate and cream. I used Calabout Belgian chocolate and thickened cream, which has no less than 35% milk fat. I prefer to use scales to measure all my ingredients for accuracy and better results. So a third of a cup of chocolate is about 70 grams and a quarter of a cup of cream is 60 ml. You place both ingredients straight into a heat-proof glass bowl and place over a double boiler. For a double boiler, you will need to fill up a small pan with about 2 centimeters of water and bring to a boil and then let it simmer. It's really important that the heat-proof glass bowl fits over the small pan, making sure that steam or water cannot escape through the gaps. You do not want water or moisture to come into contact with the chocolate. Stir with a silicone spatula and allow the chocolate to melt and mix with the cream. Once the 2 ingredients are well combined, remove the bowl from the double boiler and set aside to rest for a few minutes to cool down and for any bubbles to come to the surface. You can now add some color to your drip. You will need to add an oil-based food coloring to the drip because it contains chocolate. If you use gel, for example, the chocolate will split. I'm using color meal, so check out the video description for more details and any discounts. Now let's see how this drip looks on the cake. The cake must be chilled and firm, so make sure you refrigerate it for at least an hour before adding your drip. So there are different ways to pour the drip onto the cake. Some like to use bottles or pour the drip straight from the bowl. I like to use a measuring spoon as I feel I have better control this way, but you can use whatever feels comfortable. So I really love how this drip looks because it is very smooth without any bubbles. You don't have to pour much either because, as you can see, it can be runny if you pour too much. So practice on a few cakes before you use it on your final cake. I also made 3 other mixes of the drip, some thicker and thinner, to show you the differences. You can tell me which one you like best in the comments. So next up, for the Tiffany drip, I used a heaped half a cup of chocolate or 100 grams and a quarter of a cup of cream. So this one is a little thicker than the pink drip. It does have some bubbles, which I've noticed happens with thicker drips, but you can easily pop them with a toothpick or a cookie scriber. The next drip is the thickest I've made for you. I used 3/4 of a cup of chocolate or 150 grams and a quarter of a cup of cream. I colored it with yellow color meal. I found this one too thick for me, but it can be used for different looks. For example, I think it would look great for a candle cake as you can layer the drips. Now here, can you guess what happened? See how a bubble popped up through the buttercream and the drip? So this happened because I didn't refrigerate the cake in between drips. So you must always pour the drip onto a chilled and firm cake. The last drip mix I made is very runny with a 1:1 ratio or a quarter of a cup of chocolate and a quarter of a cup of cream. I colored this one in lime by Color Meal. So as you can see, the drip's consistency is runny and thin and it can look a little transparent, but it might be the look you want. Or you might prefer the thicker drip. Whichever one you pick, I do hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and learned how to make a beautiful drip for your cakes. If you have any questions or you want to request a tutorial, leave me a comment. And I will see you next week with another tutorial. Bye!